I think the next thing we need to talk about is where do we want to put our home? What are the neighbors we want to be around? What are the amenities that we need? What are the utilities that are covered? What are the costs going to be of that location? And we can always bear in mind that we're allowed to make mistakes in this area because we can always change the decisions that we make.
A lot of people like the bucolic marinas that are out by themselves in small little boatyards that only have 10 or 15 boats and their guys working on their boats all the time. Others like to have a marina that's more like a country club with the swimming pools and the tennis courts and all these things. So you can pick and choose. Primarily, I think, as a liveaboard population, you want to choose a marina that caters to liveaboards and is friendly with liveaboards, hopefully has other ones there so you can share with them your experiences and also get some of their knowledge as to what makes things work best.
Very good question comes up as to, okay, so I've decided I'm going to be a liveaboard, I'm going to live on a sailboat, and now where am I going to put it?
We have a small marina here in downtown Boston, very family-oriented marina, well-protected location, and lots of liveaboards because we are in a metropolitan area. It's, again, a well-protected location. So we seem to attract that type of boater, and we also promote that type of boating. We enjoy our liveaboards here because we feel that they add to the total atmosphere, the community that we have here, and liveaboards really do make a community out of a marina.
The advantages of where you live and what you're going to do depends really on a little bit about what your lifestyle is. Do you like to go to professional sports? Do you want to be away from everybody and out in a pristine, quiet area? Maybe you want to just live off the hook, so to speak. Just drop your anchor and live there. Well, if that's the case, then you have no shore power or shore water available. So you have to depend upon whatever you have on board. In other words, you have a generator, or you have a system that, provides you with a 110, what they call an inverter system, or you're going to run your boat all the time in order to generate enough electricity. And then, of course, you have to, if you're going to use the water on board, how long is those tanks going to last you? Because you can't just, kind of turn on the faucet and figure that there's going to be something filling that back up again. You got to get a hose to put more water back in. So,
generally speaking, there is going to be a place where it can be kept. It may not be the desired place, but year one you put it point A, year two you've got a year to work on it and get it to where you want it. In this neck of the woods, it tends not to be a problem for liveaboards. Unless they're buying a boat in May and looking for a slip at that point.
We live on Lake Union, which is basically downtown Seattle. It is all fresh water. We decided to live on freshwater versus saltwater simply because of the maintenance and the upkeep and saltwater being so much higher than it would be in freshwater. Saltwater is much more corrosive. It requires, if you live in saltwater or moored in saltwater, you're going to have to get a bottom job done at least every year. We have stretched it to a point of every 3 years living here in freshwater. Less salt corrosion from your hardware and stuff on the boat. So those two things right there of the corrosion is different.
A lot of people are surprised to find that their boat it moves around a lot more than they thought it would in the slip if they're new to living aboard. So I think that people should pay close attention to finding a marina that is calm, protected, not bouncy. If your marina is calm, it's something that you might never even cross your mind. But as soon as you spent that first night or that first Sunday afternoon with everyone going by and their wakes throwing your boat around, you realize that it's an important consideration. So I think it's important to make sure that the marina that you're choosing is well protected.
And also, in living on board, you want to get a location that is extremely well protected, so when those storms do come up, that you're not battling the elements. That's a difficult thing to do, but for liveaboards, I think it's one of the utmost concerns, is to make sure that you're in a very well protected location.
Some of the drawbacks, of course, to living where we live is the fact that here we live on a very beautiful lake in downtown Seattle, A lot of tour boats come by. There's activity all the time. There's float planes landing and taking off. We have sailboat races out on the lake every Tuesday night, and there's frequently 150 to 175 boats out there, all sailing and jockeying for positions.
The primary concern is location.
It's not as convenient, though. There's really nowhere for me to walk to go to a nice restaurant. I basically have to get in a car, or it's a long bike ride.
Pick a location where you will best utilize your boat. If you're living on board, then it's going to be close to where you work and close to your cruising grounds.
It's kind of fun to be around all that action and all that activity. We are, of course, close to downtown Seattle, where many of the things are taking place. If you want to go to the Sonics game or the Seahawks or the Mariners, all those professional sports, those are all available, and they're very, very close. We can walk to the Space Needle, for example.
The largest bookstore in the Southeast is right there. You can literally walk to it. There is a grocery store within walking distance. There is a movie theater within walking distance.
The drawback to that is if we want to go sailing out in the Sound, we have to go through 2 drawbridges. We have to go through the locks, which is going to take anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours to do that.
In a lot of urban environments, marinas and cities, parking is an issue. So you have to decide whether or not parking space is something you're going to need. And then on top of that, you might want to talk to some of the other liveaboards in the marinas or the other boaters in the marina and see if the marina staff is friendly and geared towards liveaboards.
We have some basic rules and regulations set up as far as dock boxes and other things that they can do on the marina site. We don't allow that sprawl. I mean, it has to be something that is controlled. And if it's controlled, then it works, and the regulations are there for everyone. And I think people understand that, and they can work with it. There are occasions when we have to, talk to someone and say, this is a small community, let's work together, and please, take your diapers down or things like this. So.
There's different types of marinas. One of them is what they call a full-service marina, meaning that they'll pretty much do anything. They have people on staff who can work on the boat, do mechanics, come down and work on the engine, step the mast, unstep the mast, haul the boat out of the water, paint the bottom.
What is this?
This marina is a full-service marina. You wouldn't know it, though, because all the work is done behind a huge 12-foot privacy fence.
So, to some extent, it gets back to that safety issue. A well-maintained marina gives you the amenity of having a well-maintained electrical system, presumably, which is going to limit your exposure to electrolysis, and is also going to give you more reliable utilities if you need them.
Every day, the showers and the bathrooms are cleaned. They have crew that comes in at night, and everything gets cleaned, and that's important. You don't feel like you have to wear flippers, in the showers because you don't want to touch anything. It's not like that here.
What's telephone and cable?
The telephone and cable is, we have telephone here at the dock, and actually have DSL running to the boat, and that's a function of the telephone company, not the marina. But just so happens where we are, they run out these telephone cables that allow me to also have high-speed internet access. This particular marina does not have cable. Some marinas do, some don't. My understanding is with this particular marina, the reason that they don't is because the cable company told them that if they wanted to offer cable TV, it had to be for every boat, every slip, which would have been a bill of a few $1,000s for the marina. And they took a survey and figured out that not enough people were interested in having it to justify the expense.
I recommend people go to a number of different marinas, and also over there, if they do get into boating, that they vary their marinas from year to year, or maybe stay 3 or 4 years in one place, so they vary their cruising area, because there's so many different places, especially in New England, to go, that it's fantastic cruising areas, and you limit your horizons if you just stay in one area for too long.